Hello now. Believe it or not, I'm actually in a parking garage, as you can see. I'm not in my usual parking garage. I'm actually somewhere else in Palm Beach County. Won't say where, but I just came out of Studio Ghibli's latest, and I mean it, their latest film. Apparently they decided to, well, if you haven't figured it out by now, Studio Ghibli about 5 years ago decided to completely reorganize the company. They basically alienated most of their animators. Some of them actually went on and founded another company. Some of them just moved on to other companies. And basically the company's been run almost like a dumpster fire since. And of course, here's Hayao Miyazaki, one of the great animators, trying his best to reorganize his company into something competent. Well, they decided to give 3D animation a go. CG animation. So, was it like Pixar? No. This is kind of, look, I mean, there's plenty of great Japanese computer animation companies. You're better off just sticking out what you know best, because it only makes it look worse. I mean, the backgrounds were all right. Pretty good. It's just that the character designs and animation, they look like they're plastic dolls. And it really got bags. A lot of it is focused in on the hair. Hair has been one of those things they've really worked very hard on, especially at Pixar, especially at DreamWorks. Unfortunately, here it looks like a He-Man doll from the 1980s. Those He-Man action figures. The hair. I mean, technically speaking, this is a definite letdown. Because Studio Ghibli is best known for high-end animation, and this was bad. I mean, sometimes even the fluidity looked like a video game from PlayStation 1 days. To tell you the truth, I mean, they had a lot of ambition behind it. I think it's just a case where the company just didn't want to spend the money, really, to go through all the learning phases and get right into feature-length animation. I mean, this was a decade and a half ago. It might suffice. First, I'm going to say this. I've seen worse computer animation. A lot worse. Some I actually paid money to watch and regret. Now, this film was directed by Goro Miyazaki, and I know he's going to take full brunt for why it failed. Direction itself was all right, but it's just a case where I think this whole thing almost seemed like a dumpster fire from the beginning. I mean, it had some great elements for a story. It's just that, unfortunately, they weren't able to put it all together at all. The film literally takes over a place, I think, by 3 weeks. Or a month, I should say. Then, of course, there's a time skip to a 6-month patch at the very end of the film. I'll get to that in a moment. First off, it's about a daughter of a witch, but of course she never knows she's a witch. Her name is Earwig, but put up to adoption at an orphanage. Her name is actually changed to Erica Wick. Okay, you have a person who's a witch. She gives out her daughter, and you would think that should basically be the plot of the movie. The daughter trying to find the mother. And he has semblance of plot here, by the way. He goes away pretty quickly. I think the closest we got, the daughter, Earwig, trying to play a prank on the witch, which I will now get to. She gets adopted by another witch and a mandrake. A demon-type magical being. There's a lot of great elements here. You had a very good film here, but they just seem to just gloss over it and just call it a day instead of trying to make an actual plot out of it. Now I'm going to give you the big twist of the film, because, you're probably not going to watch it. Earwig was actually the name of the band of the mother. The mother was a musician. And by a matter of coincidence, the witch that adopted Earwig was a member of the band. In fact, the drummer. Oh, and the mandrake was the keyboardist. And they're actually much better at being musicians than they are being anything else. And the film completely establishes it. The mandrake actually wants to be a writer. Okay, he's an average writer. But a great idea. Show the daughter how she could be a great musician or something. No, not there. I guess I should also tell you that the daughter is kind of manipulative. I mean, this is a future dictator we're talking about. She literally tries her best to get people to do whatever she wants. And by the end of the film, she does it again. First she did it at the orphanage. Now she does it at the witch's house. She's not a very likable person. If you met this person, you probably wouldn't want to be a full 100 kilometers away any pace. Oh, and then there's the ending. The ending, there's this sudden reveal, credits. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but believe me, you'll know it when you see it. It's sad because, Studio Ghibli is one of the premier animation studios in the world, and its reputation is well deserved. They decided to go 3D animation. Wow, it really blew up in their face. It's getting a 33% on almost all the critical websites, including Rotten Tomatoes. I can see why. And, I know they're basically going to throw everybody under the bus. And no, this really hurts me saying it because I'm going to give the film a D. A definite skip. I feel so bad. It's just a case where the company was so mismanaged over the last 6 years. And this could have all been very well prevented. The problem with CG animation, it's a learning experience. It's a lot of trial and error. It takes years to master. You can't just go right into it. Is it the worst CG animation you'll see? No, not even close. Not even the worst CG animation of the last decade. When you're dealing with something of such a high standard, really much of a letdown. Anyway, I gotta head home. Have a good night. Bye.